What's up, Aquarius? What is happening? What's good? What it do with you? Time to look at your August 2025 main monthly reading. So, if anybody is in need of a personal reading, you can always go straight to my website, tarotwithrich.com. I have a link for that in the description of this video. All right, let's just jump right into this. I'm a busy boy. I ain't got time to babble. First thing I want to look at is I want to see what's going on with the singles and the person that you're interested in. Not a past person. Not somebody you're currently with. Your love interest. What's happening with Aquarius and their love interest? Two Ace of Wands reversed. Seven of Wands here. Ah, shit. Tower card. Okay, this looks like it's just been stuck at a standstill with tension building for just too long. Stuck at a standstill, no forward movement. The tension is turning into resentment. The anxiety is turning into anger. And then Mercury retrograde season. All it takes is one little thing said wrong or one little thing taken the wrong way. Pow! Looks like this is crashing and burning, and you moving on from this right here. Okay, well, ain't much else I can say about that. Pretty fucking straightforward. Let's see how they feel about you and what their true intentions are. How does this person feel about Aquarius, universe? What are their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? Ah, see, this person insecure. Could be an Aries for some of you. Low self-confidence, little to no self-esteem, inferiority complex. For some of you, well, actually, for a lot of you, I think, it's probably, so that energy can be expressed in two extreme ways of one spectrum. On one end of the spectrum, somebody with a lot of insecurity issues, you know, they kind of hang their head down, they tuck their tail between their legs, their lips sticking out, boo-hoo, I'm not good enough, me. But most of the time, you don't be fucking around with somebody with that kind of energy. Maybe some of you, but on the other end of the spectrum, it's somebody that may seem a little bit overly confident. You know, they try to cloak their insecurities with false confidence. Maybe for some of you, they could even be trying to overcompensate a little bit. I think they got a lot of fucking feelings for you, but I think they like seriously intimidated by you. I think so. They really intimidated. And they don't want you to know that. Could be an Aries for some of you. Also got Libra. Okay. About all I can get out of that. Your messages are coming through pretty quick here tonight for some reason. Okay, well, we got that outcome in the first spread. We ain't even 5 minutes into this reading yet. Let's see what advice we have. What advice do we have for Aquarius with their love interest, universe? What's the advice? Advice, advice, what is the best advice? Seven of Cups reverse. That's interesting advice. That's interesting advice. I wouldn't have thought that would come through. I mean, I give this advice to clients a lot, but usually not with a situation like this. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but only focus on one thing at a time. One thing at a time. You don't want to be one of those people that's like, is this me and this one person going to be together? If it's not them, what about this person? Oh, and there's one more person. And if it's not any of them three, well, then who is it? Who's going to come be with me? Somebody? Anybody? I don't really care who. I just need a faceless, nameless somebody to be with me as soon as possible. This person, this one, that one, my neighbor down the street, my neighbor's grandma, somebody. First of all, you will never attract your person in that energy. Ever. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. One thing at a time. Okay? While you're dealing with this person, ask yourself, am I ready to completely let this go yet? If the answer is no, then I'm focused on this person. I'm not even going to think about exploring anything new until I have made the firm, unequivocal decision to shut the door on this. If I haven't made the decision to shut the door on one connection with conviction, I don't need to be thinking about anything else new. We don't want to be in that. You'll get stuck. You will get energy hooks stuck in so many different people that'll weigh you down. Not only that, but when you do meet your actual person, you ain't gonna give two diddly dog shits and a flying fiddler's fuck about anybody else. Anybody else. So the simple fact that you're even asking about all these other people, that's a telltale sign that none of them are your person. None of them are. So just think about that. If you're wondering about this person, that person, this person, that person, not saying that there may not be a little bit of karma with some of those people. There may be a contract from a past lifetime, but it ain't your person. None of them are. Focus on one connection at a time. One connection at a time. All them energetic hooks and all these different people. Best case scenario, it's just going to keep you locked in the same frequency. Best case scenario. You're going to have energetic hooks and all these different people. And that's going to weigh you down. That's going to take you so long to untangle all that energy out of your field. If you do. Most people don't. They just carry it with them their whole life. And that's one of the many ways how humans end up stuck on the karmic wheel. One person at a time. One connection at a time. It's okay if you haven't made the decision to totally slam the door shut on this yet. But if you haven't, don't fucking worry about what else is out there. If you haven't made a firm decision as to what you're going to do with this yet. Okay? All right. Speaking of which, let's see what the next soul contract is due to come in next for Aquarius. Hang on, let me get some sage in the air, y'all. Hang on. Hody-do, yo. Let's get some good vibes in the air and burn it like we just don't care. Do-do-do-do. Do-do. Yeah, fire. Fire. Yes, I am a huge Beavis and Butthead fan. Huge. Huge. I got this badass Beavis and Butthead shirt for Halloween coming in. Should be here this week sometime. Butthead's like a vampire, and Beavis is like a Frankenstein. And it's like, There's like bats in the background and shit. It's fucking badass, dude. All right. Let's see who's the next person due to come in for Aquarius. Next person due to come in. Ace of Cups reversed. What's that all about? Ooh, that's weird. That's weird. For a general reading for the masses? This comes through personal readings all the time, but I've never seen this come through. Well, I might have, but it ain't been very many times. I'm feeling like a lot of you need some help with your path. A lot of you are going to encounter a course correction. Happens all the time. There's nothing unusual about it. There's nothing weird. I personally believe that it happens to everybody at least once. I know that, to my knowledge, it's happened to me twice. Where somebody comes into your life for one reason and one reason only. And that is to bump you onto a very specific path. It happens for a couple of different reasons. Either A, you're going in the wrong fucking direction. And you need some help getting back going in the right direction. Or it's because the next path that you need to take is so unlike anything that you would have ever dreamed possible that you would never find it if left to your own devices. A good example is when somebody gets into a relationship and that triggers their spiritual awakening. That's a perfect example. You see that happen all the time. Matter of fact, there's probably a shitload of you watching this right now who experienced that. You would not be on your spiritual path if it wasn't for that relationship. Well, you might want to think about that real fucking long and hard, if that sounds familiar to you. But I think a lot of you are getting close, getting real close, because you're leveling up. And if you don't level up on your own, you're going to need a little bit of assistance. Unfortunately, from a human perspective, that can sometimes be not a pleasant process. Matter of fact, what do you think brought me here? What do you think brought me here in front of you right now? You think I planned this shit? Abso-fucking-lutely not. The only reason I ever picked these fucking things up, ever, was to try to read a situation that I had been dealing with. It's the only reason. You don't know how unlike me this is. This is not something I ever would have considered doing in a million years on my own. Ever. It's a long story. It's a fascinating story. It could seriously make a badass movie. Just saying, it happens a lot, and it happens to the best of us. It's hard to say right now, though, because that path is still a little ways on the horizon. But some of you are going to have trouble finding that path, and you might need to be bumped onto that path. That's strange. I don't ever remember reading this generally on my main channel before. How can I generalize that for the masses then? That's weird. Let's just see the way the outcome energy is looking. Ooh, okay. Oh, 9 of Cups. Okay, beautiful. 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 Okay. 3 of Swords. Okay. All right. So if you keep your eyes peeled and you're genuinely walking a path where you have a relationship with the universe, a lot of you might narrowly avoid it. Very narrowly. Basically, the way it goes down is somebody will make their way into your life and it will feel like the most insanely, ridiculously, inexplicably, retardedly intense connection you've ever felt in your life. Ever. And that person is hooking into you at a deep fucking level. And then pew, they take off. Now the universe has got you. So now the universe is dragging you. And it's painful. Oh, it's painful. The universe is dragging you, kicking and screaming down a path that you never would have found if left to your own devices. But I'm thinking that most of you are just going to narrowly avoid this. Just narrowly. Just narrowly. Because as long as you're walking in this energy right here, you won't fall into it. It might be hard, but you won't fall into it. So you know what that means? That means the next person due to come in. Long-term stable commitment with potential for life partnership. Okay, good. I was sweating there for a little bit. I'm like, how am I gonna... I know how to read this for an individual, but I don't think I've ever read that for the collective before. I haven't come up with a way of explaining that can be generalized to the masses, you know? So, okay, cool. All right, that's weird. What's the advice? What's the advice for Aquarius? Well, just, this is hard. This is hard advice. See, I always try to give the advice that I wanted on my path. And I always try to give the advice that I needed on my path. I would always get frustrated back in the day because I believed that most teachers or guides or spiritual people weren't explaining things as well as they could. And to a degree, that is true. But one of the things that I have learned on my path is that, yes, things can be explained better, but the level at which I wish to explain things can still be incredibly difficult to put words to. The only thing I can say is this. Tap in deep. Tap in deep. Because I'm sure that you've spent time after connecting with somebody reflecting back on the red flags, right? Reflecting back so that you can keep yourself safe and prevent it from happening in the future. Well, there's a really, 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 really deep knowing. A really deep knowing when you connect with anyone that will tell you instantly. And you got to tap in deep. It'll tell you instantly. And when you think back, every connection, every friend, every relationship, if you really think back and remember the deep inner knowing, you always talk yourself out of it, don't you? We always do. You know, because on the surface, we're blinded by the invigorating explosion of emotions But at a deep level, your higher self is telling you, this ain't it. This ain't it. Oh, if you keep this up, you're going to get hurt. But you got to tap in deep. Either way, one way or the other, it's going to turn out for your highest good. Some of you, hey, you might end up needing to have a little bit of assistance. And sometimes that means that you got to go through some shit that's going to suck. And the good news, though, is that when it does come full circle, you'll look back and be thankful for it. But do the best you can to stay tapped in deep as you can. Know thyself. All right. Fucking A, man. Shifting gears one last time. Let's see what's going on with the person from the past. If you are not an Aquarius who is here inquiring about somebody you dealt with in the past, this is not for you. What's happening between Aquarius and the person from the past? Universe. What's happening, man? Boom. 2 of Wands. Is this a silent standoff? You know what that means. That means, well, basically it means no action's being taken. Ooh. But you know the person you're dealing with is planning on something. I think they're planning, they're seriously contemplating and planning on making some kind of appearance in your life. But they're really trying to figure out whether or not you're still mad at them, whether you've let your guard down, whether it'll work, basically. Like if they was to approach you, you know, and try to spit some game and blow some smoke up your ass, whether or not it would even be worth their while. I think they're having a real hard time determining because they can't read you. They can't tell where they stand with you. They can't tell how you feel. Okay. But, I mean, 2 of Wands at the end of the day, that's no action. That's no action. I think you're finally releasing this, though. I think so. I think you're finally finding closure. And hey, maybe some of you will end up reconnecting with this person, and that's all it'll take for you to find closure. Maybe. Yeah, I think you're making the decision to move on from this. Okay. Let's see this person's deepest feelings, energies, and intentions. This person from the past Aquarius dealt with. What are their deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? See, they can't quit thinking about you. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. See, this weighs on them a lot worse than you know. They are still carrying the burden of this situation. Whatever it was that went down, they're giving you the silent treatment. And they feel a really strong sense of unfinished business. They got their guard up big time. Big time. I think, and I think I've already told you all this too, but it just drives them nuts wanting to know how you feel. Like it keeps them awake at night. They just want to know how you feel. But the $1 million question is, then what? That's the $1 million question. What if they find out how you feel? Then what? They're not thinking that far into it. Pretty sure this is the same message that came out for y'all last time. So it doesn't look like a whole lot's changed. So, yeah, 7 of Swords. Are you surprised to see this, dude? Yeah. It doesn't look like they're up to any good. Let's just put it like that. It definitely does not look like they are up to anything of honesty, integrity. 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords. Where'd he go? There he goes. Well, let's grab the advice. What's the advice? What's the advice? Ooh, Hermit. Empress. Well, I'm not going to tell you what and what not to do. Not going to tell you that. Because at the end of the day, you need to make the decision based on your own findings. Like, don't just blindly take my advice. If you should never walk away from anyone for any reason other than you made the decision that that's what serves your highest good. If I tell you to do something and you just do it because I told you to, and you don't understand why I told you to, that's not going to help you. You'll just repeat the same cycle with the next person. So, having said that, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I will tell you, I don't care how long it's been since you talked to this person, they haven't changed. That's all I'm going to say. They haven't changed. So, maybe some of you who are at that place where your memory's a little bit clouded, you know, because sometimes our minds can play tricks on us. You know, like if we experience something like traumatic or negative in the past, it's really easy for the mind to cover that up. You ever find yourself in that place where you're thinking back on something from like a long time ago and you're beside yourself because you're like, well, you know what? I mean, I kind of miss that period in my life a little bit. I remember not being happy, but I don't know why I wasn't happy. Because what your memory has done is it's taken all the negative shit and buried it. And it's painted a picture with nothing but the little pieces of positive memories. And that's like the only picture you have in your mind. Well, sometimes if that be the case, then you need to revisit it. You need to have that little reminder. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I remember. Okay. Now I see why the fuck I don't need you in my life. So that's all I'm going to say here. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Because this needs to be released one way or the other. Whether you find it in yourself to release this, or if you have to get sucked back in and repeat a past cycle. It has to be released one way or the other. And it will. When it's all said and done, it will. And in the coming months and years, a lot of you are going to be taking a look around at a totally different life. You're going to be looking in the mirror at a totally different person. And things are going to come full circle and serve your highest good no matter what. Okay? All right. I feel like those were the messages that my Aquarius family needed to hear. So I am going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, the information for personal readings is all down there in the description. All right? I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.